Welcome to Cruise News Central with Joseph.
Cruise news on October 31st in the year of our Lord 2024. You know that feeling when you buy something that you really don't need or maybe didn't even want, but there was a really good salesperson that made it seem at the time like you would be missing out if you didn't take advantage of an amazing opportunity? Well, a cruise line that I'm pretty sure you have all heard of has been mastering some new techniques to get you to do things and buy things without you ever realizing it. We are going to get into the who and how of that is, as well as a couple other exciting news stories from the world of cruising. Let's get into it. So I'm guessing if you're watching the cruise news, there's a good chance you've taken at least a few cruises in your life. You probably have gone to the Bahamas once or twice, probably Alaska, maybe Hawaii, but I bet that not that many of you have cruised to Antarctica. If you had the chance, would you go? Don't get me wrong, I love warm weather cruise destinations. I love the sun, I love the beaches, the palm trees, the whole thing. But I would absolutely love so much to visit Antarctica. It's a place that holds so many mysteries. In fact, I was under the impression that unless you were a scientist with special permissions, you were not actually allowed to go to Antarctica. If any of you out there know, let me know in the comments. Can you actually go to Antarctica and get off the ship? I swear I heard there is some kind of treaty that says non-scientists aren't allowed. Anyway, here's some good news if you do want to go as far south as you can. Silversea Cruise Line is building a hotel in Puerto Williams, Chile, to accommodate cruisers that want to go to Antarctica. It'll have 150 rooms and will streamline trips to Antarctica in a way no one has done before. Overlooking the Beagle Channel and surrounded by pristine forest, the hotel will feature views of the water and snow-capped Patagonian mountains. Does that not sound awesome? Something I love about buying things on Amazon rather than at like a physical store is that I feel like instead of having a salesman who works on commission and is trying to persuade me to buy something that'll make him more money but maybe isn't the right thing for me, I get to sift through all the products, do my own research, and make a choice. Well, it turns out those days may be coming to an end. We are being influenced without ever suspecting it when making online purchases, and in a recent article, a certain really big cruise line admitted to how they are using a certain technology of getting more of our dinero. We will talk about that in just a minute, but first, there was a horrible accident on a cruise ship in the Bay of Biscay, and we need to talk about it. One passenger has died and more than 100 were injured who were aboard the Saga cruise line Spirit of Discovery as it headed back to England after sailing from a cruise destination in Spain. According to an interim report released by the UK Marine Accident Investigation Branch, at 12:30 p.m. local time, the ship was struck by Force 11 winds, a category meaning violent storm on the Beaufort wind scale. As it crossed the Bay of Biscay on the western coastline of France, the vessel was carrying 943 passengers and 503 crew on board, moving violently as staff tried to maneuver it through the turbulent weather. Making matters worse, the ship had propulsion issues during the violent storm, making it even more difficult to control the motions of the ship. Authorities say an official investigation is wrapping up and should be available in the days ahead. The passengers were given a full refund after returning from this nightmare of a cruise. Okay, and here is the main event. I hope you've all subscribed by now. Royal Caribbean has a good product. They currently have the biggest cruise ships in the world. They literally have different neighborhoods on their ships because they're just that big. They have state-of-the-art entertainment, good food, maybe not great food, but good food. We all know that in many areas, Royal Caribbean has stood out in the cruise world. What you might not have realized is that behind the scenes, they are standing out in another way. They're doing everything they can to perfect the art of taking as much of your money as they possibly can, and they're using AI to do it. Royal Caribbean Group said Tuesday that vacationers are spending more on its cruises and that it expects even higher prices in 2025. On explaining why third quarter results and profitability exceeded expectations, Royal Caribbean said it partly benefited from having introduced AI-based revenue management software. The tools more accurately track ships in supply and demand, improving the group's ability to set best prices to match goals for profit margin and occupancy. But that's not the only way Royal Caribbean is using AI to make more money. Obviously, our yield management tools get smarter and better every day, said Liberty. Half of our onboard revenue in the third quarter was purchased through our AI-driven pre-cruise channels, Liberty said. Persuading customers to spend more on board before they actually get on the ship is a key strategy. More than 70% of our customers typically purchase onboard activities before they sail, and they spend more than double compared to those who only make purchases on board, Liberty said. So there you go. While it's not surprising, it does feel a little gross to me that big companies like Royal Caribbean are finding ways to use artificial intelligence to efficiently as possible remove more money from our wallets. AI is changing the world maybe as much as the internet changed it 30 years ago. I think we need to embrace it. The older I get, the easier it is to fall into a resistant mindset when it comes to big changes in the world and technology. I remember my dad saying that computers were going to be a fad. I don't think he wanted the world to change the way that it did. So a lesson that he taught me without even trying is, if you try and resist advancement in technology, in the end you just end up getting left behind. I try to remind myself that we are living in an amazing time of innovation in the world, and I, for one, want to keep up with it for as long as I possibly can. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Cruise News Central on October 31st in the year of our Lord 2024. Always remember, no matter what cruise destination you choose, no matter what cruise line you choose, adventure awaits.